Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to the commission.
Good afternoon, Linda.
Thank you. So first thing we want to do is have a roll call.
Linda Baker,
Here,
Amber Banner. No. Luke Barber. Luke Barber.
Here.
You. David Forrest. No. Gabriela Guerrero. No. Stephen Harris.
Here.
You. Josh Lewis.
here,
Thank you. Stephanie McDowell.
I'm here.
Thank you. Brandon Morris.
Here.
Thank you. Sue Orton.
Here.
Thank you. Cheryl Rose.
here,
Thank you. Sheila Sudarwala. Sheila, are you on the call?
she says present, but still can't hear. Sheila, we cannot hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, thank you. And Robin Wallen let me know that she would not be able to attend today. We do have a quorum.
So, let's move on to the approval. April, May, June minutes. Take a moment to review them, and we make a motion to approve all 3 months meeting, or do we do the months?
Not sure. Ask if anyone has any questions or
Yeah,
comments
if you have
before
any
we.
comments or questions, this is the time to speak up.
Hey, Linda, this is Brandon. The audio is very poor right now. I don't know if others are able to hear, but I'm unable to hear it. But I was able to hear it loudly when we were doing the roll call. So if we can adjust the audio, that would be helpful to me.
The IT person is listening right now. Did you hear what I said about approval of April, May, June meetings? And if you have any comments or feedback?
No. I'm still not able to hear, but I have no questions.
Brandon, if you can hear my voice, this is Dana. Is it that it's quiet, or is there an echo, or can you describe the problem with the audio?
I heard you very clearly, but it was very low. When Linda was speaking, I can hear hardly anything.
Okay, so it's too low. Got it.
And I have my speakers maximized over here.
It's the way the volume's coming through from your area.
Yeah, Luke, I heard you very clearly and at a comfortable volume. So I don't know what's different between your audio and the audio coming from the round table.
It's probably the position of the speakers in that meeting room. or the microphone.
These speakers on the ceiling are.
In this room, there's 3 speakers. All have the green lights that they should be on.
Hey, bypass Mike not being able to hear. Let's go ahead and move forward with the meeting. I'll just keep up with the audio. Well, not with the audio. I'll just read and keep up. So I don't want to hold us up. We could keep it moving.
I move that we approve the minutes from April, May, and June.
Cheryl made a motion, who wants to second?
I'll second that.
Identify yourself, please.
Was that Steve? Who seconded the motion?
Can you hear me? Who?
I'll second that. Yes.
Thank you, Steve. We have a guest speaker this afternoon, Captain Rose. Information on law enforcement and accessible parking. Is Captain Rose here?
Hi, I am here. I cannot hear very well as well.
Oh, he doesn't hear. I think it seems like everybody is having a trouble hearing. But now, if you got a question, put it in the chat room. Well, we can hear you. And you can read the caption, follow along to IT, and figure out what's going on with the catch. Thank you.
Would you like to try, Linda? I mean, I could mute the room and use my headset to speak, but just we would have to take turns. Have everyone in the room.
With this, yeah.
This has a microphone on it, so it'd be right next to your mouth.
Where will I attach it?
I would have to mute the room and then need to unmute my laptop.
Okay.
Try it. We still have, we would still have their audio though. It's just for input.
Just like this. This.
Have it, hold it up. We can try it. Okay.
We weren't ready. Hold on.
Hello, can you speak?
Nope. That's not working.
I apologize. I tried.
Okay. Just read the caption until IT can figure out what's going on with the audio. So for right now, Captain Rhodes, we talk about law enforcement on accessible parking. Captain Rhodes.
So that agenda item is for us to speak with Captain Rose.
Oh, he's
About-
not out there.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
so not for us to receive a presentation.
Okay. Do people, well, I just thought maybe he had a. This is the time to ask Captain Rose your questions on law enforcement accessible parking. Do you have a question for Captain Rose? We invited him out of his busy schedule. Anybody?
I guess I'll ask, Captain Rose, thank you for coming. And could you tell us under what circumstances you ticket people who are parked in handicap marked spaces, but do not have handicap tags or license plates? What is the policy or the procedure that you use?
Hi, thanks for having me. First of all, today it's a pleasure to be here. Anytime we get complaints, we'll certainly respond to those complaints. We tend to try to get people's cooperation before we ticket people, but we will ticket people. I'm basically in charge of the academy, so we have two branches here at the academy. We have a basic training branch, and we have a continuing education branch, and we teach our recruits the importance of such things, and we teach in service as well, and we stress the importance of those things. But if we see a clear violation, if it's private property, we will ticket if we see those violations. Usually, it's something that we'll get a call on, or we'll see it during patrol.
So you can ticket on private property, or what do you do if it's private property?
Well, we are authorized to write tickets on private property.
Oh, you are, okay.
Private property.
Is that a new policy? Because I know many people have complained that when they call the police or call law enforcement, they're told they can't write tickets on private property. Is that something that might change for a municipality by municipality?
To my knowledge, it's nothing's ever changed.
Okay. Good to hear.
Steve Harris, one of our commissioners, shared with us a guide of United Spinal Association. And there are some things that a question asking law enforcement to do. Steve, do you want to talk about that? I have the hand out front of me, but Steve, you're the one that initiated this.
Yes, I'm here. United Spinal Cord Association has been working on an accessible parking guide for a little over a year now. We put out basically a one sheet guide of things that we're asking of law enforcement agencies. I sent it in a PDF. That there's the biggest problem that's not law enforcement issue is that there's just not enough spaces for the demand, but that's not really a law enforcement issue. We already discussed writing tickets. One of the other things was cracking down on placard fraud and misuse of placards. Is there any way that that's monitored or can be looked for in the law enforcement area?
Well, I can only speak for the San Luis County Police Department, but we can pass it on to the captains in each precinct and see if they can do more enforcement.
Because I know it's hard to tell if people are misusing a placard or are using fraudulent placards, which are also out there. So I know there's difficulties in that. Do you you only cover the St. Louis County unincorporated areas, correct?
Correct, or the cities that we contract with.
Okay, so you contract with some cities. Is there some sort of organized um, organized thing with the different municipalities in the area as far as law enforcement activities?
There's a SLAPCA meeting that is abbreviated SLAPCA. It's the chief of each police department. They get together for meetings and they discuss things. So that's something that could be addressed there.
Right, some sort of.
But I don't think there's any task force that's currently working on these kind of violations in the meetings.
Right. Okay. Um,
I see that Sue Horton has her hand up.
I have a question, but I also have some information. September is the re-upping of the handicap placard renewal, and I had to go through that for us, and it's requires getting a doctor's authorization and then presenting that to the DMV. So I was wondering if that's going to have any kind of an effect on some of the fraudulent use. And the other question I had was, what is the penalty exactly for them? And is you get a repeat offender? Is it more money or more tickets?
I think others would like to answer that. Captain Rhodes. She's still on.
I'm sorry, I could not hear that question at all. I'm having a real difficult time hearing any of this. I'm sorry. I apologize.
This is Sue Orton again. I'll say it again. Is there any, what's the penalty for, disobeying the handicap spaces? And is there a penalty for repeat offender?
If you did not hear it, read the caption.
Well, the penalty would be typically would be a citation, would be a ticket, or we can apply through the county counselor's office for a charge. Each city is different. I can't really answer that, to be honest with you. Normally a ticket would be the response.
You know how much? Or does that vary per municipality?
Hello, everyone. This is Brandon, and I can hear absolutely nothing. I am trying to keep up reading the dictation period. However, I do have a question for the officer. I recently have started going to high school football games, and I went to a game at University City last Friday, and all of the disability parking spots were taken up. And as I drove past in my power wheelchair after finding a parking spot far away, I've noticed that 50% of the people occupying the parking spots were young individuals sitting in the vehicles with the air conditioner running on their phones. So, not to make this about me, but I believe now that football games are starting all across the city and county, people will be flocking out to them and they will be mishandling the disabled parking spots, and individuals who really need them will not be able to utilize them. Is there something that you could talk to the academy or other municipalities about cracking down on this specific football disability
it's-
parking spot concerns I have? Question mark.
Captain Rose, have a response. Captain Rose, did you read the comment that Brandon Morse made? Well, until we know where Captain Rose is, I noticed that Luke had a question. Luke, want to share your comment or question?
I know Captain Rose mentioned the use of ticketing. Do we know what the fines and fees that are associated with each ticket is? Or if it also can involve towing as well?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
So I'm not sure how much a fine would be for each ticket. I'm not sure what the schedule would be and how much the fine would be. Brandon, to answer your question, I think what I would do is I would give a call to the superintendent or the principal and see if they can add some more parking for you. And then when you see violations like that, if you show up to a game and you can't park there, I would reach out to U City Police Department. The only thing we really do from the academy standpoint is we train recruits and we train officers that come back through for continuing education. So we can stress the importance of these things, but we don't really take an enforcement role from the academy standpoint. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense, and I appreciate you following up with that helpful feedback. Thank you.
Captain Rhodes, you said you will. Are you also a liaison to the county police department that you can relay this information?
Yeah, I can mention this to the Division of Patrol for the St. Louis County Police Department. At that SLAPCA meeting I was talking about, I can bring that up to my chief and see if he can remind those police chiefs of the cities to take more of a strict enforcement policy. But that's all we could do. We can relay that information to the other chiefs, but we don't really have anything to do with their cities. We work in the cities that we contract with in unincorporated areas of St. Louis County. But I'll certainly pass this on to the Division of Patrol for St. Louis County Police Department.
Thank you. Steve, you had your hands up.
Yes. In researching this, some of the things that other counties have done across the country, one of the things is having a education program as a first step instead of a fine. I don't know if we have anything like that. So if somebody gets a ticket, they are basically had to sit through an education program of some sort that kind of stresses the importance of handicap accessibility and why it's needed. So that's question one. If we have anything like that, then another thing that other counties have done that I found is have a volunteer enforcement program. And I've got an example and a link that I sent to Dana in Jacksonville, Florida, that set up such a program. I'm sure we don't have that here, but I don't know if that's the sort of thing that could be looked at in this commissioners meeting. Thank you.
Captain Rhodes, is that something you can follow up with? A volunteer program that can be initiated by the county police department?
I think those are great ideas. I can mention this to our division of patrol, and maybe they can be a part of this meeting going forward. But I'll certainly pass on some of these ideas that you're bringing up. I think they're great ideas. Is there something that we could do with the media? Can we bring it up to the media as well?
Yes, and you may want to get their employment involved because they will have people that might be interested in volunteering in this program. Okay, Stephanie, you had your hand up.
Hi, am I unmuted?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. So I was just wondering, I know that you said that you mainly work like on the academy side of things, doing the training of new officers. What are some of the things that you do? And some of the ways that you do train them when it comes to disabled parking? What are some of the things that you do?
Well, I will let you know that I'm new at this job. I've been in this role for about 2 months. I do know that they do stress the importance of these things to the recruits when they're going through training. They have a patrol block of training. I think it's 96 hours, and they stress things like this, and they talk about how it's important. Beyond that, I don't really know. I can find out, but I do know that they talk about it.
Have they ever had somebody with a disability come talk to just kind of make it real, that these are real people that are having real problems, and what problems?
I'd have to find out. I know that we do have guest speakers, and that they have had experts in their fields come to the academy and talk to the recruits. So I think it's a great idea. I can certainly bring that up to my supervisors here that have instructors. I think it's a great idea.
Thank you.
Many years ago, I did police training, and they used to invite us once a year to provide that police training for issues with disabilities. And what we're talking about is making sure that accessible parking is indeed going to the right people. Luke, did you have your hands up again?
This is Sue. I had a thought. I think Stephanie or somebody mentioned the fact of doing an educational component. What about doing a PSA? Do you want to get it out to the community? Public service announcement? Just a thought.
Is that a bad idea? Talk about that enforcement and stuff would be a priority. Luke, did you have any additional comments?
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
We do have we are active on social media, and I can bring this up to our social media people as well and see if they could do a public safety announcement with y'all. I think it'd be a great thing. It'd be great for community policing and great for our department. It'd be great for your message. So I can certainly, if I get a contact, I can pass your information on to our media relations person. I think it's a great thought.
I know Captain Rose has mentioned the difference between sort of the county and the other municipalities. But sort of studying that policy procedure history with me, I know uniformity is very important. And so I'm wondering if county has a procedure or policy in place, or the ways that they interact if the other municipalities use sort of similar tactics and policing strategies or not, or what coordination there is between unincorporated St. Louis and the other municipalities to make sure that everyone's on the same page when it comes to these enforcement opportunities.
Any more comments or questions?
Doesn't he need an answer?
Captain Rose?
I'm so sorry. Could you repeat the question? I'm so sorry.
So you had mentioned earlier that there's differences between the county unincorporated areas and the municipalities. And you had talked about that SLAPCA meeting previously. And I know when it comes to policy and procedural stuff, having uniformity in the tactics or enforcement. So I'm wondering, when you have those meetings, if you guys share strategies and this is what the county's doing, you guys should try to adopt the same approach. Or if a municipality's doing very well, does the municipality hand their strategies, procedures, what's worked well for them with the county and vice versa to ensure that uniformity of enforcement in policing?
Some of those are probably side conversations with the chiefs, but that is a place where they get together and they share information and they talk about things like this. So to be uniform, yes. So they'll discuss it and they'll talk about the importance of it and maybe say that there's issues and bring up the issues. But I don't know if there's side conversations going on. There should be.
Chair?
I think that Luke asked about towing, and I wanted to get back to that. If somebody is blocked in and can't get to their car, to their ramp, and the police are called, I know you can ticket the person blocking them, but how do they get out? How do they get into their car? Can the police call or authorize towing, or who pays?
Well, I would call the police. Again, each city's different. Each county's different, but I can't give just a general answer. But if somebody's blocking somebody in, they're blocking a driveway or they're blocking a car, I'd call the police department. They could certainly tow a vehicle if it's blocking. That it's warranted. They certainly could.
Thank you.
Any more questions or comments for Captain Rose? I don't see any, so thank you, Captain Rose, for attending our meeting. I would have had Dana send the sheet that we was talking about that's put together by United Spinal Association. It's a very good handout, and I think it's something that the county police department, as well as municipalities, should follow. But we are dealing with the county police department. So once again, thank you for your time. And then Lancaster will send you this handout to you, Captain Rose, that you can share with the academy and the county police department. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. I'll certainly pass on all this information, and I think we would be interested in doing a PSA with our media relations people, and we'll certainly be talking to the recruits and looking forward to possibly having you all out here to the academy and helping us train recruits. thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Chairperson report, University County Tax Board update. The latest I heard was they have that day in Lisa Clancy read some status or a kind of that's a home builders association. They didn't share with us what was eliminated or not eliminated. And they was going to bring it to the full council. That's the last I heard. That's a good sense with the chair has some other information.
Yes, I saw Craig yesterday. And the home builders, as we've mentioned in other meetings, do not want they're concerned about the reporting requirements. And Lisa and Craig have been meeting with the city council. Sorry, I don't know what's wrong with this. With the city councilor's office about the language in the ordinance regarding reporting. He had hoped to have something to us, but the city councilor has some kind of illness in her family that has delayed. So we're still waiting on that. But he says they're making progress, whatever that means.
So that concludes my report. We'll move on to the ADA coordinator report.
Okay, thank you. This is Dana Lancaster. I'll try to speak up, so hopefully the microphone is picking this up. Don't have a lot to report out. I've been just very, very busy. I did want to mention that St. Louis County just opened their new inclusive playground at Queenie Park called Teddy and Friends Inclusive Playground. That was designed and fundraised from a nonprofit called Unlimited Play. And I think we're very excited to have that open there. There was also a recent update to a playground at Castle Point Park. They have a brand new playground and that is ADA compliant. Wow. A lot of my work is sort of my routine things that you guys all know about. I do want to mention, some of my recent work has been relating to the new web accessibility requirements that were added to the ADA, making sure that all of our county offices and county departments have the resources and the training that they need in order to be ready for, making changes and deadline for when that rule is implemented, which is in April of next year. So I did develop and roll out some web accessibility training for all of our county content creators, and I've been doing those sessions. So I have a session tomorrow or Wednesday. I've done a couple already, just trying to make sure that I get all the basic information and also resources on where people can get additional training to all of our individual content creators, not just at a high level within the county, but also down to the people who are posting on Facebook, for example, to make sure that they have web accessibility at the forefront of their mind. That's been a lot of the recent work. And one of the things I find most important about meeting with people and giving them information is making sure that they are getting firsthand experiences from people with disabilities and hearing the stories of why web accessibility is really important. So I have used some videos from the Worldwide Web Consortium, which is the organization that created and published the accessibility guidelines or the technical standards. And also I found a great series of videos from Missouri Assistive Technology that gives sort of firsthand experience. But I know that this is something that is probably really important to all of you, so I'm definitely open to suggestions if you have other ideas how I can get that firsthand experience into, you know, people's minds so that they have a better understanding of why we do all the things that we do when it comes to web accessibility. If there aren't any comments, then I will say that that is my ADA coordinator report. I do think I saw Josh's hand up.
Josh, yeah, go ahead, Josh.
Okay, I was just thinking, when I was at the Kirkwood Disability Awareness Advisory Commission at Green Tree Festival, we would set up an obstacle course and we would have a bunch of wheelchairs and allow people to, you know, sign out a wheelchair and see what it's like to go up a ramp, open, go through, close a door, go across carpeting, blocks that were glued to plywood, just so that we didn't lose them. And, you know, a few other things, you know, like going off road, and give them an idea as to what life in a wheelchair. I mean, granted, it's more like peeping through the keyhole than it is really a firsthand immersive experience. But you know, it's a start anyway, in my opinion. Maybe we could try incorporating something like that with other parks and festivals in the area. Just my 2 cents.
Thank you, Josh. I'm just curious, was that in relation to a particular topic or patient?
Which, the obstacle course or the or KDAC or what?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you were suggesting that the county do something like that in regard to a particular location.
Not necessarily a particular location, just, you know, make it available so that if, say, you know of a,
What he's saying is county municipality, they have a stigma about access. It doesn't connect what you said. Website accessibility, but tell me if I'm wrong, but just to have a stigma within a festival, something that you promote in the art system that is considered accessibility in general. He mentioned that he had a wheelchair obstacle course to give people a flavor of what it's like to maneuver a wheelchair in different terrain. I could say, I don't think it had any relationship to the website, but I found the information on the website helpful. And so, any Luke, you have any enough?
Yeah, thinking of sort of Josh's sort of simulation sort of strategy of kind of the simulation, thinking about it sort of how it relates to website accessibility, of kind of put someone in the position of what it's kind of like to be low vision or have color blindness or have sort of those disabilities that sort of limit information perception. I think that would be kind of helpful because I think a lot of times people don't get the why is this important? Why does this matter? How it impacts those with disabilities. Because I know a lot of times the web accessibility standards were sort of created with the worldwide consortium and stuff because someone was trying to order a pizza at a Pizza Hut or a Domino's and they couldn't do it because their website was not up to standards to the point where the person had to phone in to make their order, rather than being able to do it online.
Brandon, did you have questions? I thought. Okay, I think Brandon left. Cheryl,
I actually thought, I don't know exactly the point Josh was making, but I thought that what Luke was saying, that's what I got from it, was that they had this obstacle course for wheelchairs, but is there something, some kind of way when you're doing your training, Anna, to have people experience what it's like to have low vision, you know, on a website? I don't know if any of the training videos were able to do that. I don't know if that's available, but it would be a good idea if it were.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is that maybe some kind of a simulation would be something to try. And I know I've seen some for different types of low vision and for color blindness, like Luke suggested. And there's also, you know, the opportunity to have someone use screen reader software and experience what that is like as well.
I'm pretty sure Zoe says it technology cancer. Way back, they have done. Stephanie, did you want to add something?
Yeah, I think that as far as web access, that is one of my pet peeves when I can't access something. But just remembering that people use different types of accessibility options. So remembering that, as far as giving somebody like a kind of a taste of what that might be like, you could always have the screen reader installed, and there's several screen readers, but have screen reader installed. Take away the screen so that they can't see it and they have to rely on the screen reader. But there is such a learning curve with most screen readers that just allowing them to, you know, there'd be a lot for them to learn just to be able to even get an experience on the web. Does that make sense?
It does. I wonder if using like TalkBack or something that's on a mobile phone maybe has less of a learning curve. Do you think you would?
JAWS does. You know, there's a learning curve for JAWS. There's a learning curve for VoiceOver or TalkBack or any of the other screen readers, even the one that comes on a PC narrator. Even that has a bit of a learning curve where it takes you a minute to figure it out. And you're not trying to frustrate them as they're trying to learn this screen reader. You're wanting them to be able to see what the, you know, the importance of making a website accessible to a screen reader.
I appreciate your input, and I know IT really appreciated when you were able to come out and do a demo for them as well. They were, they still rave about that. Very much appreciated.
Well, I'm glad I could help, and I'm always glad to do more.
It's The software that she's talking about, who installed it? Person who has the vision issue? Kathy, who installed that to make it accessible?
Who are you ask? I'm sorry. Are you? This is Stephanie. Are you asking who installs it?
Yes, yes.
A person can install it on their own device, like JAWS. You'd purchase the software, install it on your own device. Things like VoiceOver or the on a phone, TalkBack, those are already installed on the phones, and you get them, you activate them, you activate that app. I know in my case, like at work, I have to have our IT people install it, or which is another thing with me, but we have to have our IT people install it. And if there are upgrades, I have to tell them that there's an upgrade, and then they upgrade it for me. And that's just for security reasons, on a device at work. But at home, I've installed my own. Just a matter of getting it. Some of it's very expensive. That's where Missouri Assistive Technology comes in. So hopefully that helped.
Yes. How much think you need to demonstrate all of this for the convention? I had been involved in it many years ago. So Missouri Assistive Technology Council is a good resource. They worked a long time ago to make sure that state departments had website accessibility. And so I just find it kind of interesting how it evolves. Any other comments or question about Dana's report?
Brandon put up some kind of note in the chat.
Yeah, Brandon, did you have a comment? I thought your hand was raised at one point. Oh, I'm sorry, we're not getting your sound. Let me see if we can we unmute? I feel like I have the power. Do you have the power to unmute?
Testing 1, 2. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate you guys' patience in allowing me to get the audio right. Linda, Cheryl, I think what I want to comment will be something under new business, so I can maintain quiet until you pose the new business or other comments that we want to make this sort of in general.
Okay, all right. We'll do.
We don't have a general one. We have to add to the next meeting and new business. Unless it's something that's already one of our agenda topics. We have to add it as a new business item next meeting. You can't just add on the fly.
Okay, table it to the next meeting.
Okay, whatever that is, please send it to Dana and I, so it can be added to the agenda. Something you
All
have
right, great. Plan.
Okay. Oh,
Sounds
business.
like a good.
Odor commission, odor adopt commission. Update, Sue, do you have anything to report?
They did not meet during the summer, and their next meeting is on the 11th, so I'll have a report next meeting.
Okay, thank you. Accessible transportation. That's Steve and Robin.
Robin did join.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. I had sent Dana over some information because I wasn't sure I was going to be able to be here. I was in another meeting. Couple of things just to update you on, and Steve may have more. Basically, I'm not sure exactly what is going on with Colorado, but I know that here lately there has been an increase in vans not showing up on time, and they have been using two other services to kind of fill in the gaps. And those two services are Lyft and also Via. And it's caused some confusion because it hasn't been communicated as well as it should have been. So I've had emails from a few people that were upset because they got a email from an unknown company with a phone number they didn't know and were told that they would be picked up by Via. And then things would happen, like the van would show up and then the Via would show up anyway, even though they told them they'd been changed back to a van. So one of the things that I noticed ran across yesterday, they actually had another hiring bonus or a hiring fair, and they reinstated the $5,000 hiring bonus, which I think pretty much says that they're short-staffed, or if they're not short-staffed with their current rides, the problem is that more people are riding again since the pandemic, and they don't really have the staff to cover it. So that's one thing we have to keep an eye on. The other thing I sent to Dana was that Raise Transit, which is a self-led advocacy group that's not actually part of any other organization, is holding a transportation rally on October 18th from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. at the Missouri Council of the Blind facility at 5453 Chippewa. So those were the things that I had sent to Dana in case I couldn't get here. And I don't know if Steve has anything else right now, but I'll be quiet and let him speak.
I don't really have anything to add to that for now. I haven't really looked at that issue much in the last month or two.
Robin, does Lyft have wheelchair accessible vans?
No, they
No.
do not.
Do not, no.
So what typically happens is if it's somebody that needs a wheelchair, I think they're sending Via. And if it's someone who doesn't have a mobility problem, they're occasionally sending Lyft. But it's a little confusing to people because it hasn't been really communicated in a way that people are aware it's going to happen until it does happen. I've also noticed that here lately, if I try to schedule a ride on an app, on the Metro Go app, it's almost impossible. So there's a lot of things going on that we just have to keep an eye on. And neither Uber nor Lyft at this time have waived vehicles.
I have a question about Lyft. Is there any kind of training or statement that service dogs, guide dogs are allowed into the car when they get there?
Yes, there is training that the drivers go through. And then the way I understand it, both companies now send out notifications to their drivers every month that they have to agree to. Unfortunately, which is very typical, people get this stuff and they click through it without actually reading it. One of the things that has changed recently is that you now have the option to self-identify as a service dog user. And there's mixed feelings about that. Some people feel like it puts you more at risk of getting a denial. Other people do go ahead and self-identify, because one of the good things about self-identifying that the companies are touting is that they will know at that point that the ride was denied because of a service animal, and it makes it easier for them to go back and look at the history. Now, whether that's going to make a huge difference, I really don't know, because denials are still going on all the time, and it's still a problem.
That's, they need to make some kind of announcement about left and right, or clarify, to try to make it less confusing for people.
They do. And my personal opinion is that they would do better if they trained their drivers in person, because what happens all too often when you just send out this thing that you have to click on it, they want it off of their screen, so they click it off and they don't really actually read it.
Maybe if a few people file complaints, they might get the message.
Well, that's what's been going on. A lot of people have been filing complaints. There is a DOJ investigation on them now, and I don't really know where that's going at this point, but a lot of people have continued to file complaints against them, both with the companies and with the Department of Justice.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad to hear that people filing complaints.
They could also file with the Missouri Commission on Human Rights, which might go quicker than the Justice Department.
That's actually an excellent idea.
What I used to tell people. Okay, thank you for the report, Robin. Stephanie, did you have anything to add to it?
Just really quick. Robin is correct. They sent a lift for me once, and they also, I was very surprised when they sent one of their own vehicles that isn't meant to transport passengers. It was like a truck, I guess, that they use for troubleshooting, that kind of thing. And their supervisor was driving that. And so I was very surprised when I got out there and there wasn't a truck. It wasn't a Colorado van. It was a Metro truck. So,
I have
yeah.
a question about singing at the truck.
They said a truck. And my short little leg trying to get up on the truck.
Yes, that's what you're short, like I am. So getting in a truck, do they have a step? I just travel by train, boat, airplane in the last 11 days.
No, just Friday they sent a lift for me. My van was very late. And this time they did call me and say, would I mind if they sent a lift? And she stayed on the phone with me until the lift got there. But I know that I know that is probably not the case for everybody. So.
To add to what Stephanie is saying, this is Robin, I've noticed that quite often now we're getting supervisors or office people that are driving the vans. And while Metro says that they're fully staffed, it's just not seeming that way. And Stephanie, I would be in a really bad boat if they sent me a truck, because there is no way I could get in a truck.
I think they should have a little step. You know, one of those little steps that you take with them, and you have someone essential. I sure did when I went Northwest. So, thank you for your information. I think all of us have to be on top of being an advocate for ourselves and for our community. Thank you. Public comments?
We did not have anyone registered for public.
Okay. I would make a motion to adjourn to second that.
I'll second it.
I will see you. Okay.
We have to vote on it. Make a motion.
Oh,
we have to vote.
no. All in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
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 Any nays? So I will see you October 13th if I'm still living. Thank you. Have a good day.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Good to see everybody. It's been a
Bye,
while.
everybody. Thank you.
You too. Bye, everyone.